Hello and welcome to your July 27th daily briefing. I hope everyone's weekend went well. I had a bit of a chaotic weekend with my moving business. Everything worked out in the end. More truck issues. I don't even want to talk about it, but here's what we'll cover in today's video. We're still expecting to see a preview of the Senate Republican relief bill today. However, before that happens, we have some key insights as to what will likely be included and excluded from the bill. I think you're going to be happy to see some of the items and maybe a little bit disappointed in other areas. Also in this video, I'm going to discuss the math and the real truth behind the proposal to cut enhanced unemployment benefits from $600 a week down to $200 a week. It sounds really scary, and the math on it, once I really broke it down, was really surprising to me, and I think it will be for you as well. One thing we can be sure of with all this is the need to stimulate the like button on this video. And on that note, let's get into it. The White House Chief of Staff, Stephen Mnuchin, and Senate staff had meetings all weekend to discuss the particulars of the next relief bill. We are told that there is an agreement in principle as to what is going to be included in the relief bill. However, the delays have been due to the White House wanting to look at the text more thoroughly and working through other technical language within the bill. White House Chief of Staff Mark Meadows said yesterday, and this is a quote from him, "We have a few modifications that we're looking for clarity on, but we've gotten those down to a handful that hopefully will be resolved in the next hour or so." He said this yesterday. "It's just down to a handful of items where we believe a phone call here and there should be able to resolve it." So finally, he added that the remaining issues should be resolved by this morning, Monday morning. We have no updates here yet, but it seems the biggest sticking point is what to do with unemployment insurance. We know as part of the relief bill, Republicans are aiming for an unemployment benefit that is based on 70% of a worker's previous wages. The issue here is that that change isn't quite as easy as just flipping a switch from $600 a week and going 70%. Nearly everyone agrees that state unemployment offices can't easily make this switch with their outdated systems. In fact, there's a quote from the Deputy Commissioner of Alaska's Department of Labor and Workforce Development who said similar changes would take 6 to 9 months to implement. Now, this is a big issue because logically basing an unemployment benefit on a worker's previous wages makes the most sense efficiency-wise because people simply won't make more or significantly less than their previous working wage on unemployment. Everyone will just get that flat 70%. This is why normal unemployment is wage-based. In normal times, I saw a statistic that said states typically provide about 45% of a worker's previous pay on unemployment, just for comparison here. However logical 70% is once it's set up, it's the getting it set up that's the issue. Typically, the most simple solution is the best solution. A flat payment to everyone would be the most simple, but this will always create a disproportionate benefit for certain people over others. The solution Republicans are currently headed towards on this issue is offering a flat payment to unemployed individuals until states can update their systems to allow for people to get paid that 70% figure. The amount the Republican relief bill is currently prepared to offer lowers the $600 per week enhanced benefit to $200 per week, a 66% decrease. That on face value seems dramatic and scary and was a little bit frustrating to read, but before getting upset about it, I wanted to do the math and see what this means wage-wise for the average American. It's important to note that the $200 per week enhanced benefit is on top of your state's normal unemployment benefit, which going back to earlier is about 45%, which I'm going to verify in a second. First off, let's do a little bit of Googling to verify this. We first need to find out the average state's weekly unemployment benefit, which is $378 a week. Next, we need the average American's weekly wage, which is $933 a week. 378 divided by 933 is 0.405, which comes to a rounded 41%. So that 45% figure is close, but I'm going to use the 41% figure because that's the one I verified. Now, if they're planning on keeping it at $200 per week for an intermediate period, what does that equal for the average American percentage-wise? Taking $200 divided by 933, the average wage again, we get 0.214, or 21% rounded. Finally, taking 41%, that's what states give you, plus the 21% for the enhanced unemployment, that comes out to 62% of the average American's previous wages now paid on enhanced unemployment for the intermediate period until that 70% rule kicks in. So the average American will make 62% of their wages until the 70% rule kicks in. Yes, this seems low to me, but it's low based on what the goal is. If the government is hoping people can survive off of that benefit, it's low. But it seems adequate if the goal is the government wants people to get back to work as soon as possible. I think the second statement is true. They want people to get back to work as soon as possible. So they're creating an incentive for the average American to not be on unemployment. That calculation was for the average U.S. worker, though. Let's do the math for someone on minimum wage, and this is what might be surprising for you. The average state minimum wage is $9.21 an hour, which, side note here, I found out, unfortunately, that is not a statistic kept anywhere. So I needed to find every state's minimum wage, add them together, and then get the average myself like some kind of nerd in order to do this math. So if you appreciate that level of effort on this video, now's the time to consider subscribing. Anyways, 9.21 times 40 hours a week is $368.40 in total wages per week for the average minimum wage worker in the United States. Then 41% of that figure, 41% of $368.40 is $151. $151 per week represents what the average state would give a minimum wage worker in normal state unemployment per week. Then we add the $200 per week bonus, which comes out to a total of $351 per week with the enhanced unemployment. So this means for the average minimum wage worker, they will make 95% of their previous wage on enhanced unemployment until the 70% rule comes into play. This means the less you made before the pandemic, the more you will still make on unemployment relative to your previous wage. This is great news for the lowest wage earners and subsequently those who are more likely to struggle because of the closures that we're seeing. This is something you're not going to see anywhere else because it's not the negative, attention-grabbing headline kind of thing that most news likes to focus on. It's not attention-grabbing to say low-wage earners will still be taken care of at nearly 100% of their previous wage under this proposal. This is why I find it so important to actually do the math on these things. Yes, the average income earners will struggle more because of this versus the $600 per week payment. And I feel for all of you. If you're not going to be able to pay your bills, I really feel for you. I understand that struggle. But to try and look at the silver lining, you will still receive more than you normally would on regular unemployment. Now the next question is, how long is this going to last before states get their systems up to date and ready for that 70% rule? We have that Alaska commissioner who said 6 to 9 months. However, more recent estimates are placing it at 8 to 20 weeks to get those systems up and running. I'm going to guess that it's a safe bet to assume 16 to 20 weeks before we can expect to see this completed. We know if the deadline is 20 weeks, things will magically be stretched out to about 20 weeks. So to finish off this video, let's discuss the other items that are expected to be in the Republican relief bill. We know that the second $1,200 stimulus checks are set to be in the bill. We've got confirmation of that several times now. We've been told that that round can be thought of as identical to the first round, including who will and will not receive the check just like the first round. However, we have an update here. There are 1.7 million people who may be included in the second round of checks that were not included in the first round. and that is U.S. citizens married to foreign nationals without Social Security numbers. On the first round, those U.S. citizens did not receive a check because of their spouse's citizenship status. Now there's a push to rectify this on the second round. A spokesperson for Senator Rubio said Rubio believes no American should be denied a federal stimulus check because they are married to someone who is not a U.S. citizen. This seems like the right thing to do. Another change I would like to see is something to happen with adult dependents, especially those who are in the care of a tax-paying adult. Beyond this matter, we know that the relief proposal will include $105 billion for school, $16 billion for testing, a 5-year liability shield for certain entities, and more flexibility for state and local governments to spend previous CARES Act funding. This is all we have for now. I'll be looking forward to updating you further as more information comes out, but until next time, I'd like to thank you for watching, and I hope you have a profitable day.